Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sean from Worldwide Red Show. Listen, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hey, hit the share button. Let some folks know about the stream. And listen, as always, everyone's welcome to jump into the stream here at Worldwide Red Show. Everyone's welcome to have your voice heard. Listen, something a little different tonight than the norm. I know it's late for a lot of you over across the pond. So let me know where you're watching from. Tonight, I'm going to do something a little different because, at this channel, we talk all things Manchester United and predominantly the Premier League. However, tonight, for a few moments, we're going to talk a little bit international football. We're going to jump into the international break a little bit here on this side of the pond over here in CONCACAF to talk about the United States men's national team and also talk about, our recent fixtures as, I titled this video L Tree, not L Tree, L Tree as in taking losses, because for the first time since like 1930, I think it was like 1936, the U.S. men's national team has defeated Mexico in competitive football matches 3 consecutive times in a single calendar year. No team has done that to each other since, like I said, the 30s. Long time ago. Actually, when my dad was born, 1930. Imagine that. My pops had me in his 50s. Look, I'm not even close to 50 yet, and I'm already retired from having kids. I don't know how my dad was. Listen, my dad was doing his thing. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, guys, listen. We're going to talk a little bit about the game. Got some people going to jump in. I have a guest representing the Reggae Boyz. Hopefully, he'll be with us. Like I said, it is a little late over there on the other side of the pond. I apologize for starting to stream a little late. But listen, I want to talk a little bit about the game the other day. United States 2 and Mexico 0. I'll tell you the thing that really got to me is that the previous international break, I watched the U.S. get a horrible result in Panama. And it really bugged me because one thing the United States national team has always been known for, one thing you could always expect to get out of men's national teams here from on this side of the pond with the Yanks, has been real tough nose, hard yard type football. We're hard to beat, play physical, play for the badge, all that passion and thunder stuff we hear a lot of people talk about in club football, which it really does matter when it comes to international football. International football, in football in general, the best team doesn't always win, but especially international play, where you can just sit back, play defensive, hit on the counter, and really just who wants it more. And when that game against Panama in the last international break, I saw a team that was lacking real identity. I saw a team that was lacking real leadership. I saw a team that wasn't out there fighting for the crest or fighting for the flag, so to speak. And it really bugged me because I was very concerned. Then our next match, we pulled out a win and things began to turn. Here's the thing. When it comes to the United States men's national team, we talk about all of our young talent. I think when we played Mexico the other day, we had the majority of our team was under 22 years old, where a lot of their team was predominantly over like 26, 27. We have a very young squad. And if we ever get our defensive issues together as a nation, the Yanks are going to be a problem. Maybe not in the next World Cup in Qatar, but in the World Cup that we're hosting jointly of Mexico and Canada, we could be a problem because we'll have a mature Christian Pulisic, a mature Giovanni Reyna, mature Weston Mckinney. Now, again, this is if these guys don't go through any injuries or anything. We have Aaron Johansson. We have a squad of players. Timothy Waya, if he keeps progressing, we have some good young players. But I'm gonna tell you this: our team goes, and it looks like a United States men's national team, really based upon whether or not Tyler Adams plays, in my opinion. Tyler Adams in the midfield. Some of you may know who he is. Some of you don't. He plays where he's at Leipzig, right? Yeah, he's at RB Leipzig. Tyler Adams when he's on it, he is not only is he a phenomenal midfielder, pulls the strings, loves to win a tackle. He has that grit and that attitude. That sometimes you need that kid in the team who is going to put in those crunching tackles. I just came from my oldest son's game, and there's a kid on his team that a lot of people really rate and respect. And I'll tell you, this kid is not the most technical footballer. He does not make the best decisions, especially as a 6. But man, he fights and he blows everything up. I mean, he if he can get to it, he's winning it by hook or by crook. And every team needs players like that. I don't want to get back into my club, Manchester United, but I feel like that's one of the things we lack. We lack that real prick in the midfield, or we lack that guy even in defense who will just, or the midfield especially, who will do whatever needs to happen. That competitive edge that our team, Manchester United is too nice. We are just too nice. And I was afraid that that's kind of how Team USA was looking. But I got to be honest with you guys, Team USA, while we have a lot more quality, than maybe even what we've had in the past in certain respects, even though I got to be honest with you, I've seen United States men's national teams before that I felt were better. But we have all these young players playing in Europe, and that's what, the goal is for a lot of these guys. And the thing that made me nervous when I watched them against Panama is do we have that grit? Because our players are good, but they're not on that level that you could play just your class is so much better than everyone else that you just dominate that way. We're not that nation yet. We have some players, again, we have top quality players, for example, like a Christian Pulisic. If CP10 can actually stay healthy at all, at this point, I'm afraid he's his health record could possibly be hurting his actual club career because he's constantly injured. But anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just checking real quick to see if any of my guests might be able to make it. But we'll keep going and see how that goes. Listen, how did the game go the other day? I thought the first half against Mexico and the Mexico-USA game is a big deal around my house because my wife is actually a Mexican-American. She knows there's no rooting for El Tree or anything up in this house. And I made a joke, not El Tree, but El Tree, because we've been handing out L's to them this year, which is kind of crazy because they typically dominate CONCACAF. And, the thing I loved about the match the other night, when we could play Mexico in states like Ohio, in different places where it's not as easy to get to. Because the truth is, it's not just people coming from Mexico. There are so many Mexican Americans in America, especially where I live in Texas, because this part of Texas was actually, basically Mexico at one point. So, don't get into a U.S. history lesson. But ultimately, guys, what you got to understand is that we don't get home games against Mexico. So even when we play Mexico, any CONCACAF nation, Canada, and the United States, where the Mexican contingency can travel or already has a huge amount of expat Mexican folks living there. In Houston, for example, if the USA played Mexico in Houston, we would sell out whatever stadium. Let's just say NRG downtown. Let's just hypothetically say it holds 50,000. There will be 49,000 Mexican fans in there by hook or by crook. And so it's frustrating in your own nation when you can't seem to get home games. But the other night, it was probably 90% American fans, which was awesome to see. And the atmosphere was great. And, there's a lot of trash talking. I know that the Mexican goalkeeper liked to run his mouth about the USA and this and that. But we're handing out L's around here. We're handing out life lessons. We're handing out L's. Yeah, Tragic was still on Tragic. Is saying USA, USA. You know it, baby. You know how we do it. And so ultimately, guys, I'm just really excited to see that win go the way that it did. We joke a lot at my house, like I said, because my kids, they're raised American. My family, racially, my whole family is I'm ethnically mixed, but not that any of that matters. I'm just saying. So it's just funny when you live in a cross-cultural family, but in this house, like I'm a Yank to the bone. So it's going to be all USA around here. So the fact that we've been winning against Mexico of late is a good thing. However, let's just talk about the game a minute before we get into our next match with the Reggae boys. Listen, I am not sold on Team USA's national team coach, Greg Berhalter. I've seen him make some horrible decisions at times, and there's kind of this preconceived MLS bias that there are guys that get called up to our national team that should not be called up, but they get called up because they're MLS All-Star, or I believe there's some kind of MLS there. I don't know if it's 100% accurate. There are other channels that'll be better at saying this than me, but yeah, tragic is on it. Yeah, he was talking some stuff, and he got handled. But it was funny. He was catching booze all night too. That was just great. The thing is, when we play Mexico, it's one of the most intense rivalries on the planet. I don't think people that don't live around here understand not only how intense it is, but how violent and vicious the games are. I've actually watched guys from Europe watch our USA versus Mexico games, especially in Mexico, and we'll do like live reactions because of how crazy it gets. Because it can be rough. It can they take their football serious around here, and everyone hates losing to the Yanks. And here's the thing you have to understand. Team USA will not get a fair shake by the referee whatsoever against any CONCACAF Spanish nation. We will not get a fair shake. The majority, it's ethnic bias. The majority of all the referees are Hispanic, and you can say, well, this country don't like that country. I get all that. I'm married to a Mexican woman, but here's the thing: we still get hard done by. In the game the other night, even against Mexico, even though we still smacked them, we got hard done by, and I'll explain why. But back to Berhalter. I've never really been a complete fan of Greg Berhalter. I do know in America there is I believe that U.S. soccer has some kind of thing where so many guys in the MLS or homegrown players need to be picked. And the fact is we have young guys from all over the world who've never even really lived in America any long time, but their parents live elsewhere that they can play here. For example, Timothy Waya, big shout out to Timothy Waya, possibly one of the best performances I've seen of him. For you that don't know who Timothy Waya is, his father is, in some people's minds, the greatest African player to ever play. George Waya, he is actually the president of Liberia, but his son plays for the US of A because this is where he was born. Then you have other players that are playing overseas. We have this a lot. So there's always been this thing where the U.S. national team hasn't always picked their best players because they want to pick certain guys from the MLS or certain guys that, quite frankly, shouldn't be in the squad. And Tragic says, yeah, I wasn't sold the first. Yeah, exactly. The first half of the game the other night, I felt could have went either way. I've heard people say, I saw people say on Twitter, the USA dominated the whole match from start to finish. That wasn't the case. Could have went either way. A few saves, a few people hit the post. However, the second half, the USA was on top almost the entire second half. And of course, the game changed completely around the 70th minute when CP10 came in. Christian Pulisic comes in, makes a phenomenal run from the right wing where he cuts basically near post right in front of his defender. An amazing run, scores the header actually from left to right. Yeah, I'm having a brain cramp now. I'm getting confused between me yelling at my kids today to make those same runs and what Christian Pulisic did. He actually was coming from the left wing, made the run across the defender to the right side. I'm about to lose my mind up here. Both of my sons today played on the right most of the time, and one of them was playing up top on the right and was making me annoyed because he wasn't making that same run that got CP10 the goal. But I digress. So Christian Pulisic comes in immediately, impacts, scores a goal. Now we're off and running. Obviously, the one young man a lot of people love to talk about playing at U of A right now is Weston Mckinney. Weston McKinney is class. It would appear that whatever craziness he got involved in that got him kicked off the team and sent home from the squad the last time, he's put that all behind him. He's learned his lesson. He's getting his confidence and his swagger back. Weston McKinney can be a problem. But like I said, for me, the whole Team USA, we control a game or not based on Tyler Adams. When Tyler Adams is playing, he came in from the left. I'm just, like I said, I'm sitting here tragic. I'm sitting here thinking about my own kids today. My younger son actually, it's so funny. Just, I digress for a second. My younger son in his game, he beat two guys down the right side, comes in, scores a goal, really had no business scoring on the keeper. He basically hit it hard, nutmeg the keeper between the legs. Shouldn't have scored the goal. Keeper should have kept it out. But in the next game, my older son literally did the same thing, and he makes the right and the wrong decision at the same time. He basically puts a cross across the box. No one taps it in when he should have just shot at the keeper and hope he got lucky too. But, I'm still living through their games today. Well, let's talk about this match. How in second half the match changed. Again, back to the refereeing. The refereeing in CONCACAF is always sketchy. Always sketchy. The Spanish referees, and I don't even, like I said, I don't mean this disrespectfully at all. It's just the way it is. The USA is not. If you're an American or you're Canadian or you're Jamaican, you're an English-speaking CONCACAF nation. Your main language is English. You are not getting the rub of the green from these officials. You're just not. You're not. The biggest league in CONCACAF, whether we like it or not, is Liga MX. Liga MX, the Mexican league, is the biggest league in CONCACAF. It's bigger than the MLS, right? So here's the thing. A lot of these, there is preconceived bias that happens in people. How the game is officiated. I learned this early on. I was watching the USA-Mexico game. Within the first 2 minutes, I watched a Mexican defender, actually the same scummer that broke Luke Shaw's leg, Hector Herrera. I watched him elbow someone right in the face, split him wide open, and didn't even there wasn't even a penalty call. Wasn't even a foul call. And it was a straight red, but no one saw it. I mean, this crazy stuff. So listen, in the game the other night, case in point. Now, I know for whatever reason, I know the reason, but it's a joke. So CONCACAF doesn't have VAR right now. They're bringing it in. Watch this. This is how podunk, that's a word most of you probably have no idea what I just said, jacked up. This is how jacked up CONCACAF is. That they're bringing in VAR in the second half of qualifying. How does that even make sense? If you don't have it for the whole competition, then you don't have it. You don't bring it in later. It's so dumb. Because the other night, we have, I believe, 2 players suspended for our game against Jamaica. Weston Mckinney, who right now on form is our best attacking player on form. So Weston McKinney is out because he came into a little fight situation and he was just defending his guy, who I believe was Aronson. Aronson was being done dirty by the Mexican defender. The Mexican defender grabs Aronson over the front of his face by his eyeballs and is raking him up, pulls him up by his eyeballs, right? No red card. Over his head, by his eyeballs, pulling him. Nothing. No VAR, no referee. The referee apparently, no one sees this, but somehow I can see it while I'm watching from home. No one sees it. Weston McKinney comes in. He's shoving. People are shoving. Weston McKinney gets a yellow card for basically coming to. Listen, there was a misdemeanor by Ohio Penal Code. Misdemeanor assault happening on the pitch. Weston McKinney comes in and breaks it up. He's one of the guys who gets a yellow card, which, so now he's out next game. Then later in the half, Miles Robinson, one of our center backs. I mean, listen, you can't touch the offensive player there, but he barely touched the offensive. I cannot think of it was Chucky Lozano, I believe. Who, by the way, Chucky Lozano. Listen. I'm not a fan of El Tree, but Chucky Lozano, he's a baller. I like Chucky. Chucky can play. But Chucky gets by the defender. Miles Robinson's trying to track him down. Chucky is looking for the contact, basically makes the contact, sells it, falls over like he's been shot. Miles Robinson, when you watch the replay, barely touches him at all. Second yellow, red card. So now we got players on yellows and they're missing games, guys on red card down to 10 men. It just seems like this stuff happens all the time. When if you called the game evenly, there is no way a Mexico USA game ends with only USA players catching red cards. Never. And if you think that, one, you don't watch Liga MX either. Because I used to think that the Mexican national team was just flat dirty. Because they are a dirty team. There's the way they want to win. I get it. I have time for it. If it's your team, if it was my team, I got time for it. Win at any cost. But that's how they are. I mean, kicking, rolling, dirty stuff, flopping, fouling, fans throwing, urine bombs out the stadium on your players. Listen, you gotta. So see, some of y'all don't know what it's like at CONCACAF. You think because you watch European football and your club has to go over to some Eastern European nation that don't even have good footballers. So there, we got Harry Maguire running around like this because he scored against Albania when most people watching the game couldn't find Albania on a map. Actually, over there, kind of north of Turkey, just trying to help you out. But anyway, most people, Turkey, Greece, and move up. Anyway, most people couldn't even find it on a map. And they're like, oh, these Eastern European countries, yeah, okay, they got flares and whatever. In CONCACAF, they hit you with things. Some of those things are flying bags of their own feces and urine. Yeah, it's nasty like that over here. I ain't making this up. This is how they roll. This is how serious they take it. It is ugly. And the fact is, how in the world could, let me see what Tragic is saying about this. He said some South Americans seem real biased toward each other. Yeah. I was watching UFC and the main event fighter who was Mexican got smoke blown up. Bro, listen, I'm telling you right now, it is very, very biased, and it will really it affects matches. There's no doubt. So let's talk about real quick. I want to break down the players from the game the other day, and then we'll get into the Reggae Boys. I'm gonna send one more message out to my guy Biz. He might be waiting on me to send it. I might be sending them stuff in the wrong place, fam. Hold on. But anyway, yeah, it gets real crazy. It gets real crazy out here because let's see. Oh yeah, dude, bro, Harry Maguire. You don't get me started on that. I mean, that just goes to show. I don't want to talk about Manchester United. That'll put me in even a greater depression than what I've been in dealing with these jokers. Sorry about that, guys. So for the game the other day against Mexico, let me go through the actual performances. Up top, you had Pepe. He's going to get a lot of the plaudits right now. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't don't do it, Jack. Jack, this is a USA stream tonight. You are dragging me into the cesspit of frustration. That is Ole Gunnar Glazer. Bro, you're not doing it to me tonight. You're not doing it. You're not doing it between me, my fridge, as Tragic calls it, and Ole's going to be at the wheel the rest of the year. It just is what it is, man. It's you get what you get and don't fit, because it just being upset about it at this point is just a waste of time. So back to the game the other night. I don't know if you guys have seen Ricardo Pepi. Now Pepi could have played for Mexico or the U.S. I'm glad he chose the USA. Good young striker. I'm only nervous that he's going to go to Europe too soon because I believe he just turned 18. And I don't want him jumping ship to Europe too soon where he ends up, going to some smaller club or somewhere where, one, he's not being seen or he's not getting a playing time. Because what happens is Greg Berhalter will not pick his best players, especially the guys that are playing in Europe, because he's got this thing where he feels he has to pick MLS players. And that annoys me. Ricardo Pepi, if you're watching this, stay at Dallas for at least one half of a season to keep playing, then jump ship. And now again, if a bigger club with a good academy or a good opportunity where you're playing, especially if you go to like France and play it somewhere like Monaco or somewhere that go play somewhere, especially the French league. The French league is rumbling. The French league is physical. I even saw a Pochettino quote where he said that, obviously the French league isn't better than the Prem at all, but it's more physical. And I've said that forever. People don't want to hear me. And Poch said, yeah, it's definitely more physical. So, yeah, I'm laughing at Jack. Ten Hag, again, I don't really like the Foreign United fans, but I rate you. Thanks, bro. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. There's a lot of us out here. What are you going to do, right? I mean, football's exploding. Football's growing. And, yeah, when I first started following the game, I was following my local team back then, DC United here in the MLS. Now I live in Houston, so my kids actually play for the Dynamo, so I have to be rooting for them. However, when I started traveling to Europe and I went, the first time I ever watched United play, I was hooked, and I just loved it. And the quality of football. And when you watch Manchester United, especially when I first started watching in the 90s in their pomp, and then you had to go watch the MLS, it was even comparable. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the passion, the desire. And plus, I was born on February 6th. And once I heard about the Munich disaster, I'm like, well, it was written in the stars. And I absolutely love Manchester United Football Club. I love everything about it. Their friends are my friends. Their enemies are my enemies. I don't care if they're scummers or dippers or whatever. It just is what it is. But somehow Jack what he's done is he's thrown out a fishing lure and he's just reeled it and he's jerked it and I bit. So back to the U.S. national team, because Jack has me talking about my love, and I don't want to do it because they've hurt me so bad right now, especially after losing to them scumbag bin dipping scousers that I still haven't recovered. But when Team USA hands L3 and L3 times in one season, L3 instead of L3, I got time for it. So all those in Stadium Azteca, I know you're waiting with your urine bombs to throw them at our boys. It is what it is. Right now, we're on top. By the way, Timothy Waya, sir, baller. He is balling. Our attack is a problem. If we share the ball correctly, if we had a coach that could get the best out of these players and play the right system, the thing that makes me nervous, guys, for you that know anything about the men's national team, is that real quick, while I got my guy here, I'm going to go ahead and throw him one for you that don't know. Often imitated, never duplicated. The main reggae boy himself, straight yard man, straight coming from the yard. I almost made me some patty with cheese. What y'all know about mom's patty with cheese? Y'all know about that. You don't know about. See, some of y'all thought that habanero is not Scotch bonnet. It's not the same. This ain't that. Mr. Biz, how you doing tonight, sir? Good to have you in the building.
What's up, my bro? What's up, man?
I know it hasn't been good for you guys. I know it was tough the other night.
1-1 draw.
We are still basking in the red, white, and blue glory of handing L3 and L3 times in one season. Listen, ain't nothing better for us than slapping around the Mexican national team. And that doesn't, Biz, I don't know. Let me ask you a question. Have you seen Jamaica play against Mexico many times?
Yeah, not good.
I have a question for you, Biz. I have a question. Do you feel that when Jamaica has played Mexico, if there is a Spanish referee, that it ever affects the game? Do you feel that have you ever watched the game and said, man, they get every call? You ever felt that way?
A little bit, yeah. I feel like the rhythm and the pattern of the game is just stifled to the
Bruh.
minimum in I think it's across CONCACAF, the whole of CONCACAF. I mean, you're just watching the football and it is quite aggressive and physical, but there's just no flow. None whatsoever. The referees are blowing up on every last decision.
Oh yeah, and listen, and there is a Spanish bias for real. So Jack is still throwing out. He's still throwing out those reels, trying to get me to go all the way into United. He said, I am a Glory supporter, Jack says. I'm a Glory fan because I come into the game late. I start watching football in the 90s. And the truth is, though, my first season of really getting into football, I don't want to talk about it, but I had a choice to make. I married, my wife is Hispanic. All of our family roots for Barcelona, Real Madrid. I wasn't feeling it. I went to the English game. I'm watching it. Paul Scholes, he scores goals when he isn't, allegedly licking on toes and how he rolls nowadays. But, I don't know what's going on with this class of 92, little freaky dicky up in here. But listen, what kills me is that when I first started watching, and I'm only going to say this once, Jack, Arsenal was on top. Arsenal was the team. And the truth is, Arsenal played some amazing football. However, I could not, I had a friend who was like, Gunners, 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 and I wasn't having it. So it was United all the way for me, baby. It is what it is. So anyway, Biz, let me know a little bit about what happened in your guys' game the other night. How did this go? Because I saw you guys let Miguel Antonio, Big Miggy, got himself on the board, his first ever international goal for Jamaica. And so I'm thinking, this could be a problem for us because defensively, we can be sketchy. Not even going to lie. However, somehow, what happened? I mean, it looked like, did they nick a late goal? How did you give up that lead?
Do you know what? It wasn't a good performance. It wasn't a good performance whatsoever. I mean, the quality that we have, we should be going to El Salvador and putting a much better performance at least and getting 3 points. I wouldn't say they've been the whipping boys of the group, but it's been the most likely place where you should be getting 3 points. But we started on the forefront. We were pressing quite high, but weren't getting any luck. I feel like our best outlet was Leon Bailey, but every time he got onto the ball, they just man-marked him about 2-3 man deep. And he had no space. Yes, he had no space getting in behind. And I just feel the manager's selection is very similar to the selection of the manager that is in place, the team that we support, Manchester United. Players playing out of position. They just looked unrecognizable. There was no chemistry, no cohesion whatsoever.
This is good news for me. It's sounding good right now.
We've got 2 players that are playing in the team that started. They haven't actually got a club. They haven't got a club. Mariappa hasn't got a club. He's still looking for a club. Yeah, he got released from Bristol at the end of last season, and you could sense from the first 20 minutes of his game, he looked so rusty. He was getting caught in behind. Damien Lowe having to cover him a fair few times, and also Taxi Lawrence as well. He just looked so rusty. And then obviously our midfield pairing, Anthony Grant, he's been in and out of the Swindon team, and Hacker, he's only played 3 games in the JPL league. So 1, he's in the league that's not really that strong, and 3, he's just not getting a lot of minutes. So the midfield to start together was just both defensive and.
You said JPL.
Yeah.
Japan.
Nah, Jamaican Premier League.
Oh, okay.
Red Stripe League.
I'm like, Japan, bro. Yeah, well, I was like, Japan, he ain't getting no patty over there. He might be getting some escabeche. He ain't getting no patty over there. Bro, listen, where is Leon Bailey being played right now? He played
right wing. And we had Bobby Reed from Fulham playing on the left wing.
Okay.
I know Bailey can do a job on the right wing, but I prefer him off the left because he's a little bit more direct. I feel like when he's on the right, he kind of complicates his game. And Bobby Reed plays on the right every game. And also we had Kamar Roof from Rangers playing as a 10. But he's known as like a goal poaching striker. It's like playing Inzaghi in the 10. It was just so like disorganized, disjointed, just all over the pitch. And you've got quality players on the bench, like Ravel Morrison.
Really?
Yes, you got Ravel Morrison on the bench.
Really?
He came on for the last half an hour, and straight away he put Kamaru through, and then Kamaru just had no idea that he was through and ended up passing the ball back out wide. And then obviously, and then Mikel Antonio coming on. He came on for the last 15 minutes and actually scored within 7 minutes of being on. So it was just frustrating. Like, we've got quality players, but the manager just has no clue what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, this is another thing with the United States. You know, if we had a quality manager, we would be. The thing is, our attacking talent right now is off the charts, and they're all young, 18 to 21.
Yeah.
So in the next 2 World Cup cycles, if we get it right, we could be a problem. Pepe is serious, and I was just saying before you come on, I don't want him to jump to Europe yet. I think he probably will, because every young player just wants to jump to Europe right away. Pepe, I was hoping would just stay in the MLS to keep developing, because he let him play every game. Not then next year he'll be 19, then he can go to Europe, and then fight for your spot. Because we had high hopes for Josh Sargent, and he jumped over too soon, and he's been rubbish. And I think he's in somewhere in England right now. Let me think. Not Watford. He's at where is he at? Where's Josh Sargent at? My days. This is going to annoy me. He is someone who was just in the Premier League that got, maybe he's at Cardiff? Someone, or maybe Swansea. Someone who has just been in the Prem and they've dropped down. I think he's playing in the Championship right now. But anyway.
I think that's Norwich.
Norwich.
Yeah, he's at Norwich.
That's it, Norwich. I don't want Pepe being another Sargent. I think he's better than Josh Sargent, but I don't want to see that happen. Back to what I was saying about the officials, maybe it's different. I was worried about Jamaica because when the USA plays any Latin team, we are not getting the rub of the green ever. And the refereeing shocking decisions the other night cost us in a way where it affects our next match against you guys. Because our best player on form right now is Mr. Juventus himself, Weston Mckinney.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Weston Mckinney is a baller. When his head is on right, the kid can play. And so he's out because of a ridiculous card that he was given, simply because he defended his player who was getting raked in his eyes. It's a misdemeanor assault in every other. If you're on the street and I do that to you, even in Texas, you're catching a charge. You can't do that to people. But the Mexican team does this stuff all the time. And then Miles Robinson, I don't know if you knew this, but he got a red card off of a nonsensical decision by the referee. It's just consistent, right? Yeah, I've watched USA Mexico games where Brian McBride walks off the field needing like 15 stitches across his eyeball
and he was a tough striker as well.
Yeah, blatant elbows that were never called, right? It happens all the time. I mean, when you play against Mexico, and I don't know I think some of it's just intimidation. I think the fact that anywhere you play, if you play in Mexico or the United States, and anywhere except Ohio or some of the places where the Mexican contingent can't travel, it's going to be 90% Mexican fans in America. It is what it is. So we couldn't play them here in Houston. There's no way.
To be fair, I feel like it benefited us last time we played you. Last month when Damien Lowe should have been sent off after 17 seconds.
Oh my days, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, that was a straight red.
Straight red.
The thing that's funny is that me and my wife were watching the game. She said, well, you can't give that. You can't give that there. I'm like, what do you mean you can't give that there? If you give it in the 42nd minute, you get it in the first minute. It don't matter.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. Bro, listen, I was coaching and I had to literally leave the field because I didn't want to me and this official were really going at it because my son was taken down in the box. And it was at the end of the game, the Stonewall pin. And the ref didn't give it. He gave us a corner kick. So while the players, the kids were kind of shocked, almost complaining, the ball goes out of play. They pick up the ball, take it to the corner. But on the dead ball, the ref blows the whistle for the game to end before we put the corner in. Listen. And in
those ones frustrating.
Listen, and the ref could as well said to me, "You can't expect me to call that then at the end of the game." I'm like, so because you feel the game should be ending in a draw, you're not going to make a call that's obvious because you feel it was an even game. Like, how does that even? I'm
mate, you're
bro,
in the wrong
listen,
job, mate. You're in the wrong job. You're in the wrong job.
That's crazy. But back to the USA attackers, man. We have Pepe's a good player. Listen, Timothy Waya. I don't know if you've been watching this guy.
Timothy Waya.
Listen, that wearing that name on the back of the shirt is heavy.
Yeah, that's right.
It's heavy.
Right.
But he is balling right now. And I think it was great for him to choose to play for the US because
he could have played for Jamaica as well because his mother's Jamaican.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I knew that he could have played for France and obviously could play in Africa.
Yeah.
But that name recognition is so heavy.
Right.
I didn't realize his mother was Jamaican,
Yeah.
Ooh, that would have been. I'm glad we stole him.
Yeah.
Our midfield three. Here's the thing that makes me nervous about our coach, Biz. I feel like, first off, we're going to have a problem when everyone's fit because arguably our most talented player, one of the top five, because we have 5 or 6 amazing, talented players, right? You have Christian Pulisic, who's the golden boy.
Yeah.
Whenever his hamstrings aren't flying through his body and they actually work, he's a top-class footballer, right? Mistake going to Chelsea. I said it when they did it. He should have come United, but Jose didn't want him. He's a lifelong United fan, was twerking for that move. Everyone over here in the States knows he wanted to go to United. We needed someone that would actually play on the right at the time. Jose didn't want him because he's kind of small. So Jose likes these big old bruising type players.
Jose wanted Perisic, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he wanted Willian. Yeah.
And here's the thing. Pulisic goes to Chelsea, and it looks like it's going to be great. But then they bring in Thomas Tuchel, right? Tuchel, everyone here in the States knows Tuchel and Pulisic. Tuchel doesn't like him the best. He did better under other managers besides Tuchel. And now that it's funny, Tuchel follows him from Germany eventually to the States. I was like, this isn't good. And he's been injury prone. The dude he's on the Phil Jones, career path at this point if he keeps playing around, getting hurt all the time.
Sick note.
Yeah. And so this is the thing that kills me with Pulisic. But where we're going to be in problems is, for me, one of our most talented players is Giovanni Reyna. And Reyna plays in the 10. We don't play with a 10. Greg Berhalter can't coach with a 10. So I don't even know what we're going to do with all these attacking players. What scares me is I feel like defensively we can be got at. There was always in the back in the back of the USA defense, there's always at least one steady player. The Gooch, the Onyewu. We had this guy that I'm like, okay, we could defend. We know we have him. And we always have had the top class goalkeepers, right?
Yeah.
Playing out their skin. Now, Zach Stefan, back up at City, not getting playing time. Can he be good? Yes. But he should be playing, and he's not. We have, Miles Robinson, not the best. Walker Zimmerman, who, to be fair, played the best game I've ever seen him play against Mexico, so I'm not going to chuck him under the bus. But we don't have that solidity. And I'll tell you this, Biz, for the United States, for me, it comes down to one guy. If one guy's playing at the top of his game, it feels like an American team, and that's Tyler Adams. I don't know if you're familiar with Tyler Adams.
Yeah, Tyler Adams from Leipzig.
Bro, when Tyler Adams is on it, that I was telling people before you jumped on it, one of my problems with United is that Manchester United is too nice. We don't have a prick. We don't have a bastard. We don't have one of those nasty players every club needs. We don't have one. And honestly, our manager, he seems just like the nicest guy on the planet.
Do you know what? Yeah, on that subject, what annoys me about that is, did you watch the Tottenham All or Nothing documentary?
Yes.
Yeah. And Jose went in there, and Jose's like, I want you lot to be nice cunts. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, yeah? Like, I want you to be nice. Yeah, but I want you to be a bastard at the same time.
And then he did Davy
But the
Rose
thing is,
dirty.
though, when he came to Man United, you signed Nemanja Matic, which he is one, but he was on the way out. But you go to Tottenham and you find one for them in Holberg. And I'm thinking, United needed this so badly, but you chose someone like Matic when we could have been shopping around.
Fair.
And I mean, Fabinho was always my third pick. And United just didn't even bat an eye.
He wanted the United move so bad. He was
even on Brazilian TV. He was well up for it.
And he played right back and defensive mid. He was the perfect player. And to be fair, we were shouting about Fabinho a year and a half before he even went to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, so for people to say, "Oh, you're just fans. What do you know?" Well, we knew enough that we should have got him a year and a half before.
Yeah,
the Scousers got him. You know, he's one that we needed. We don't have at United that Fernandinho type player, that prick. And Team USA, we have Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams is that guy. When he's playing, there's an edge to the game, right? There's he's going to foul. He'll tactically foul. He plays hard and he's aggressive. When he doesn't play, when he didn't play against Panama, honestly, I was embarrassed at the end of that game. When I got done, I didn't even do a reaction because I was literally embarrassed.
Give credit to Panama. Panama have been really good. The team in this CONCACAF group stage at the moment. I think they've been a surprise package. They got a good manager. He sets them up right, and they're aggressive with it. And I saw a little bit of the highlights of the game at the weekend when they came back to beat Honduras 3-2 because I saw that result and I thought this is perfect. Honduras are 2-0 up. We win today. We close the gap. I think we would have been level on points with Panama. And instead of being a level or even 2 points off, we're now 5 points off them. But they've been, I know obviously USA should have really went there and got the 3 points. But I can see Panama being a surprise package and they could nick that third spot. But the way Canada are playing at the moment, I think Canada are unstoppable right now in this group.
Listen, just to answer a few of the questions, Waya was born in the USA, and to the Brandon Williams comment, listen, Brandon Williams just isn't good enough, right? As far as to be Manchester United starting quality, but the idea of him being a prick is spot on. I got time for it. When he threw Hudson-Odoi, was it a Callum? Who did he put in the stands when we played Chelsea? He put someone in the stands.
Yeah, I think it was Hudson-Odoi.
He put him in the stands. We got time for that. But that would work in CONCACAF because that's how they play here. Biz, a lot of people that don't watch CONCACAF, they don't realize how physical it is. How it's hard to go play dodgy pitches, even dodgier. Listen, even
don't talk about the pitches. Do not talk about the pitches. Like our pitch is bad for one sake. Like they don't water the pitch at all, so it's dry as hell.
Yeah.
The grass is not long enough. It's horrific, man. The football, it's horrific. And
if I had my way, bro, America should be able to draft players from America Junior, which is Canada, right? That's America Junior. We should be able to just take Alphonso Davies. Just give us him, and we will be really a threat in a big tournament because we don't have that wing back, right? We don't have anyone to play left or right back. We have not Miles Robinson, the other Robinson. Yeah, we have DeAndre Liedlin, which we don't know what you're getting out of DeAndre. Serginho Dest, but how will he turn up? But, that's the thing that concerns me about Jamaica is if Leon Bailey is free to run at either of our right or left back, it could be a problem because Anthony Robinson, who's been playing left back, he athletically, he is everything you want. Big, fast, strong, but it seems like he's out of position so often.
Yeah, he does switch off. I noticed that for Fulham a few times last season.
Yeah. Is that where he's played in Fulham?
Yeah, he played there quite quite well. I think since when Scott Parker kind of changed to a back three, ending of last season, he was playing as like a wing back. But I'm not sure what he's like as in a back four and just having to play as a left back. So I don't know what.
Yeah, I think he struggles
like.
a little bit. And the other person that concerns me, because sometimes they look really good, but other times they look like completely lost, is this young guy from Valencia, Yunus Musa. Yunus Musa, I don't know what we're getting out of him sometimes. I don't know. Like I said, it could be like, wow, okay, yeah. And there's other times you're like, really?
Yeah.
No, that's just a CONCACAF thing or a quality thing. We just don't have that consistency. But overall, I feel like you never know what you're going to get when you play in these rivalry type games, because everyone gets up to play the U.S. I mean, everyone wants to play the U.S.
You're the big boys of the CONCACAF.
Yeah. Especially now we're slapping Mexico around.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy, because they hate losing to us. Like, it's
their passion.
It's so bad. And honestly, I wish you could come to even the games like my son's games today, because my sons both play in the Dynamo Academy system. And where I live in Houston is predominantly Hispanic. And so, my wife is Mexican. And it's funny because both teams that we played against today were entirely Mexican teams. And even the youth players, you see how they play, very physical. I mean, if you watch Liga MX, people don't get it. Liga MX is a bloodbath. I mean, it is. It's like you might as well just play rugby, because them guys out there fighting.
Yeah.
And that's how the kids play. And so when I first moved from the East Coast to Texas, I was like, man, the standard of football down here, I didn't feel like was as good, but it was physical. I mean, violent. I'm like, man, what's up? What are they teaching these kids down here? I mean, but it's from watching that league. Yeah. And so when is it? Let's see what we got here. We got some questions. Yeah, we're playing. The USA plays Jamaica on Tuesday night. Biz, how do you think it's going to go?
USA win. I think it's a USA win. I feel at most, obviously, we need to win. I think at most we can probably grab a draw. I mean, at home we've been all right, apart from the Panama game, which was that was a horror. That was. But I think most of the other games we've kept a clean sheet. Against Canada. So, you'd think that we can possibly get a draw, but at the moment, I just don't see nothing else but a USA win, because we're so disorganized.
I think for our team, the reason I don't say, because normally I would say, yeah, we're definitely going to win with how we've been playing, but with no Weston McKinney, that's a big loss. And the fact that Tyler Adams, is he going to be playing the whole game again? I mean, he's been playing a lot. So
is McKinney suspended?
McKinney's out.
Okay, so we've got our one and only CDM, who is suspended, Anthony Grant. He got a yellow card.
Yeah.
And so I'd possibly like us to change the formation to go back to a back three, and then you can have Ravel Morrison come back in the middle.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling he's going to probably play Javon Watson, hacker, who's only played 3 games all season, and 38 years old in a CDM. Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's going to play Pulisic at least a half. He brought him in for 20 minutes the other day. And I don't think Chelsea wants him playing. I mean, honestly, I don't think they want him playing, because these CONCACAF games are violent,
Yeah, there's another thing why a lot of these Premier League clubs are frightened for their players to come out and play. I think apparently David Moyes had urged Mikel Antonio to bring his own physio. Yeah. Sorry, his own masseur. And because I think, was it last time? I think he came to he didn't come to the last window. He came to the window before. He only played 1 game. He started 1 game. He didn't come last time. And obviously this time, he's only played 15 minutes. So I feel like he'll probably start. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't last the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, my guy Jack is on one tonight, bro. He come on my channel.
3-0. I'd be so gassed.
Listen.
I would be so happy if that happened.
Listen, the first time I visit Jamaica, they telling me, what you said. We got something over here for ya. Whatever that stuff is, you've been smoking, Jack. They ain't no 3-0, bro. No Rasta stuff around here,
No
bro.
3-0. I think we've only ever beaten USA twice. I think one was a 1-0 win, Ricardo Fuller. And then the last time was a 2-1 win, Rudolph Austin, Luton Shelton, late Luton Shelton.
Yeah, listen, bro. Listen. The last time Jamaica beat the U.S., man, my people were on me.
Yeah,
I was getting texts, phone calls, all this and that, and I'm like, nah, fam, y'all gotta chill with that. I'm like, 'cause next time someone call me and ask me if the chicken in a soak, I'm gonna be like, no, not for you. Nope.
it's
We
crazy.
cook nothing for no one.
The last few times we've played you, though, I think we lost. Was it the 1-0 late goal in the Gold Cup
Yeah.
quarterfinals?
Yeah.
And then obviously the 3-1 Gold Cup quarterfinals again. No, semi-finals with Pulisic scored the brace, and we lost to you 4-1 in a friendly back in March. So our recent record just doesn't give us any kind of hope.
Yeah, so Tragic is asking what happened in the game. I was saying a little earlier, just to let you guys know, a Mexican player did what is most likely, well, not most likely, it is a misdemeanor in most American cities by physically attacking one of our players during the match, grabbed him over the head, eye raped him, put his fingers in his eyes, and Weston Mckinney just came to the defense, shoved people off, and he got a yellow because that's how they roll. And that's just too many yellows, so he misses next match. Then Miles Robinson got a very soft second yellow. I mean, it was cagey. It was cagey from Chucky. Herving Lozano, who's a baller, by the way. Chucky can play.
Yeah, he had a great chance early on, didn't he?
Yeah, he could play. But he, besides, that was a sketchy second yellow, so we got red cards. We have people on red cards, people not playing. Of course, Gio Reyna's not back yet. But I think for me, bro, I'm going to go. I just think on form right now, I'm going 2-0. I think the U.S. is going to win 2-0. Again, it wouldn't shock me with the USA if we went there and got beat just because we're so kind of up and down. But when we're good, we're good.
Yeah, that's right.
But we can have Panama moments. Like I said, if Tyler Adams doesn't play, then who knows? But when Tyler Adams plays, it's just – it might be all in my head, but it's like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. He is nowhere near a Roy Keane. But you need that player that when they play, it just lifts everyone else. The midfield of the United States does not look the same without him in it. And then you have Weston Mckinney out as well. Bro. So, we'll be having like Kellen Acosta and who knows who else. Man, I have to look at the actual lineup. The squad who they brought with them, because the USA kills me when they bring some of these guys from the MLS and they overlook guys playing in Europe just because it's that MLS bias that we have going on. That actually, I think that we have to pick so many MLS players or something. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember, was it Klinsmann when he was in charge, and he basically said that your players need to be playing European football for the football to just evolve. And I agree with him. I think the MLS has come a long way, and it's got to a point now where it's at a standard now. But you want your best players playing in Europe. You want them with the elite every week, and then going back and then implementing your style and just raising the bar.
Yeah.
And that's been a problem with Jamaica as well. I feel like this, we haven't really had anyone that's actually like born in the island and gone out. And I think I'd say Bailey's probably like the most known and profitable player that's ever like been created from Jamaica to Europe. But I feel like the people of Jamaica, they would rather have players playing in the homegrown league and around the US, obviously because climate reasons. they also think that the British-based players aren't committed enough. But like we were saying earlier, it's a lot harder because the Premier League teams and obviously any team around Europe, they're frightened to send their players to CONCACAF.
No, they don't like them to play.
Yeah,
they're going at the they do it in the US all the time.
Yeah, and obviously because of the distance they have to travel as well, and then coming back. Sometimes they're not coming back until Thursday, early Friday, which only leaves them one day for training. And if they got a game at the weekend, there's no preparation going into it. So,
I know CONCACAF is brutal, right? I know the away fixtures, they don't have the nice pitches the way they do in South America, but South America is not much different. CONMEBOL is violent as well.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those. This is what burned out Alexis Sanchez. I mean, before people kept saying, what happened to Alexis Sanchez when we got him? I was telling people he's burned out young. Because what they did was they did Copa America 3 straight summers, I believe it was.
Yeah, I remember. And he played every minute of those.
Yeah, they won it. They won. Yeah. I remember they beat Messi and them in it one year.
Yeah.
And those games, man, people... Listen, these guys I know it gets rough over in Eastern Europe. I know they out there carrying on. I know a lot of them, a lot of fans over there are racist and all that kind of stuff. And you got that kind of foolishness. But in CONCACAF and CONMEBOL, I mean, they're not just lighting off flares in the stands, man. They're like trying to basically bomb your hotels. When you walk into the stadium, they're hitting you with urine bombs and crap bombs.
Mate, obviously, that's why another reason why I was pretty annoyed with Jamaica not grabbing all 3 points at El Salvador, because their fans are known for being violent and just aggressive, and they're throwing bottles at you when you're taking corners and throw-ins. It's not an advantage. Trust me.
No,
you're not getting any kind of advantage with their fans, and I think Honduras as well, away as well. That's another tricky place to go.
Yeah,
and it's not easy.
It's rough. And you guys, how do you guys typically handle the Caribbean derby? Because I don't know if I told you this, but I used to
Trinidad.
I basically lived there for a whole summer.
Yeah.
And so I know that for whatever reason there's some blood there, and I think it might stem from cricket. I don't know. I don't understand nothing about any cricket. I don't have a clue about any cricket. Any game. Listen, I've got 10 years of college, 2 degrees, and a graduate degree, and I can't figure out how they score. Yeah. So how they score the game. So listen, I ain't got time for it.
Yeah, do you know what? It is, but it's kind of fizzled out over the last couple of years, possibly because Trinidad and Tobago they've dipped.
Yeah, well, I love the country. I love it. Like I said, I lived there all summer, but it's rough there right now. I mean, it's the culture shifted, tons of crime. It's just
I heard the crime rate is.
It's bad, and the reason is because a lot of these, not to get too political, but certain Latin American countries that have went full on communist, and it's gotten a mess, and people are trying to get out. And the sad thing is, I got family in Aruba. I'm in Aruba all the time, and there are Venezuelans there. They're constantly getting people out of the ocean that are trying to swim from Venezuela to Aruba, and they can't barely swim. How you gonna make that swim? It's desperate, and it's sad, man. And so a lot of this stuff, it funnels into, unfortunately, the islands, because a lot of these people are trying to escape into Florida, or they're trying to escape into the States. Yeah. So they go to the Caribbean to get there, and it just is what it is, man. But ultimately, I think that Jamaica. I think if you get a result, I think you still have a chance to get into the hex. Yeah. There's a chance there, but you have to start winning games.
Yeah.
You have to start winning games. And so, this is the first of the repeat fixtures, right? This is we played once already.
Yeah.
So now you're into the second half. You have to start picking up some wins.
Yeah. And home as well. We've finally got a bit of home advantage. I think we've got about 5,000 fans in for in for the game. So we need to start picking up wins, and we've got to start getting 3 points at home as well. So I think we haven't actually won a home game yet. I think we've only won 1 away game, and I think we've drawn 2 away and 1 at home. So we really need to start picking up points. But we've only played, I think this is our 3rd game at home. I think we've played majority of our away games. So
well, hopefully you guys put a little bit of water on the pitch.
Yeah.
Jeez.
This second half of CONCACAF fixtures, I think majority of them, 60% of them are home games. So if we can just try and get maximum points, that definitely gives us a major chance again. But now it's got to that point now where we can only do so much on our end, but we have to start looking on other results going our way as well. So
yeah, that's always tough.
Yeah, looking at Wednesday's fixtures, I think
Mexico plays Canada.
Panama. Oh, Mexico playing Canada? No. I think Canada's got another home game against Honduras, I think.
Okay.
And then
that might be the next break.
I think Panama at home to El Salvador. So realistically, Panama and Canada are probably going to collect another 3 points again. So we have to get 3 points on Tuesday.
Yeah, you're going to need the Yanks to start winning some of these games they've been drawing.
Yeah, definitely.
We have to do you guys a favor. We can't be we can't have all these nothing but Spanish speaking countries represent CONCACAF. We need the English speakers.
That's right.
Even though I speak a lot of Spanish, but that's a topic for another day. That's only for my family. That's for family person.
Am I right to just put up a formation team?
Yeah.
Just show you what the team with that I'm gonna go with.
You have it. It's ready.
Yeah. Okay. But can you see that?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna go over back. Actually, let me full screen this. Is that better?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna go over 3-4-3. It's kind of gonna look like that. Actually, let me see if I can change that a little bit. Yeah, something like this. All right, so I'm gonna go to, I think, actually, 3-time MLS Keeper of the Year, Andre Blake. It's for Philadelphia Union. Centre backs, Damian Lowe. Oh, he's not even on here. That's great.
So you think you'll play 3 at the back?
I'm hoping so.
You think they're trying to keep it tight and then nick one?
Yeah. Well, that's how I think our manager will set up. No, this one's not even picking up half of the players. It's either I'm spelling the names wrong. Anyways, I can't be asked to get the names up anyway. So I'm gonna go with 3 at the back anyway. I'm gonna have Lowe, Mariappa, and Liam Moore from Reading, and then I'm gonna have fullbacks of Javon Brown at right wing back, and Kemar Taxi Lawrence, and a midfield duo of Williams and Morrison, and then the front 3 of Leon Bailey left wing, Mikel Antonio up front, and right wing Bobby Reed. I'd rather us set up like that. We'll have a little bit of bite in the midfield, but also we're gonna have a ball carrying player, Ravel Morrison, someone who's got a great final pass on him that can obviously transition into the final third. Fullbacks as well, we need a bit more energy. I think he'll probably play O'Neill Fisher, as he's been playing the last 3 qualifying games. Actually had a fairly decent game against Alphonso Davies. And kind of, I wouldn't say he kept him quiet, but he kept him at bay at least. And but I feel like he's a bit of a sketchy one at times, man. The other night he had probably one of his poorest games where he was just so wasteful in possession and just switching off so many times with crosses coming in. Lawrence, I think he's been one of our better players, but again didn't have the best of games at the weekend. But I expect him to keep his position. But the front three, man, I feel like the front three for us, Reed, Bailey, and Antonio. I feel like that's probably one of the strongest front threes in CONCACAF.
Yeah.
But it's just a shame that we haven't had them playing together that much to try and build a chemistry. So I wouldn't mind seeing that start, but what's the chance that's going to happen with the manager that we've got, who's just so loyal to the players that he shouldn't be loyal to? But
we know all about that. We know all about
so
that.
frustrating, mate. So frustrating.
Yeah, we know all about that. For me, I think that for me, it's that front three is a danger.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. The U.S., I don't even see us really making many changes outside of Weston Mckinney. Can't play, so he'll probably bring in Kellen Acosta. Might switch up a different center back, the center back pairing. I don't know who he'd bring in. I would like to see Reggie Cannon play over. Right now, I take him over either of our right or left backs that we have in camp, just to let it give him some time.
Maybe so what formation are you going with?
We'll play 4-3-3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's typically what he switches. He's tried to play 3 at the back from time to time.
Yeah.
But he'll play 4-3-3. And I think that I would like to see some rotation up top, but I just don't think that he can do it. I don't think that right now, I just don't think that you can't bench Timothy Waya after the game he had the other day. I would like to see another striker get some minutes in moments like this besides Ricardo. We know Pepe is doing his thing, so you got to play him while he's hot. But I don't know why, bro, but I want to see Daryl DK get more opportunities. Daryl DK is playing well over he was in the championship. Can't think of where he's at right now as well. Off the top of my head, I know he's over it. Well, he was in England playing in the championship. Daryl DK is one I would like to see get more minutes. Out left, it's just got to be. They're not going to play Pulisic, so it's going to be Aronson, and then probably Pulisic the second half will come in and play for one of them, and we'll just see how it goes. I just don't see him making too many changes because Berhalter, he can be a very safe manager as well, and he has a propensity to stick with players that he likes. That, man, case in point, I could not believe Gyasi Zardes didn't get a call up because I don't rate him at all. But this guy Berhalter loves to play Gyasi Zardes. Another person who he always plays over at DC United, Leggett. So, is it Sebastian Leggett? I think is his name. That guy, man. Like, there's just some guys that get into this team at times that you're thinking, really? Over him? Over him?
Yeah.
Like, you're really going to play, him over Serginho Dest? You're really going to play him over. But it's just his favorites thing, and we get that. And I'm actually surprised that Stefan got moved into goal, because the gentleman, Matthew Turner, was phenomenal, back in the Gold Cup. I thought he had done enough to stake his claim, but, Stefan's the one playing for City. He's the one with all the promise, and he played well the other night overall. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I just think that, I would like to see Berhalter replaced eventually. I mean, here with a top type manager that could really get the best out of this team, because this U.S. crop of players, not in Qatar, but when we have the CONCACAF World Cup, where it's us and Mexico and Canada hosting it, the type of talent we have coming through in 6 years or so could be a problem. We could really do something with the right management, But Berhalter is also a little bit like Ole in that every time he has like a terrible run, you're thinking, dude, just get the guy out of here. Yeah. He just sits up and they start playing for him. So hopefully we can do that. But man, Biz, I really appreciate you jumping in, bro. I know it's late for you. Thanks so much, man. Get some sleep, bro. Thank you so much for coming through. So you were saying what? Final say so. What are you going with on Tuesday night?
I'd love us to get 3 points.
Go with your heart, bro. Say with your heart. Let your heart bleed out your chest. With my heart,
I'm going to say 1-0 win, Mikel Antonio.
Okay.
But I got to go in my head, man. And it's just saying 2-0 US, 2 or 3-0 USA. Yeah. I feel like you guys are looking strong now. You're really starting to get that team cohesion now, obviously. And not qualifying last time, I think really hit home for you guys. So now
that was disgusting.
You're in the driving seat, you're top of the group. You're not going to want to look down no more. So
the USA, the one thing I will give Berhalter is that we are a second half team. We could play terrible in the first half. I mean, look abysmal and come out.
Yeah.
People say, oh, they dominated Mexico the other day. No, we didn't. First half was fairly even. Second half, we slapped them.
Yeah.
But, obviously looking through my red, white, and blue tinted goggles, then, I would say we whooped them all game. But that's not the truth. The truth is it was on a knife edge at many points in the first half. But the second half, we're a good team. I think that, as long as something dumb doesn't happen, where we end up giving away a penalty or somehow Jamaica get up 2, then I think that you got Miguel, when you have Antonio, and he's this guy,
he's on fire at the moment.
Yeah, he's so streaky. There's times where, in the past, I was like, man, this guy can't finish his dinner. He gets in all the positions, but now he's on fire. He's right. For me, right now on form, I'd take him over Lukaku. That's just me.
Do you know what? Like, I think since COVID returned, because that's when he really got played as a striker for West Ham. I think Haller was injured. No, I think West Ham had a striker. I think they had like Andy Carroll, someone like that. And he was out injured, so he was literally the only player who could play up front for West Ham. Because realistically, he's actually a right back who got changed into a winger, and then he had a few games in midfield, and then got his chance and played up front. And then he came back off COVID, and I remember him scoring 4 goals against Norwich. And then since then, West Ham have just kept playing him up front. They signed Haller. He never really got into the rhythm of the Premier League. And then Antonio has just taken his chance. And every game, he's just literally learning how to be a striker. And now he just looks like he's almost a finished article. And I think apart from Mo Salah, he is the second highest goal contribution player in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, right. He's yoked too. He's one of those guys that if we were playing at home here in Houston, Jamaica against the U.S., and I was there, and he takes his shirt off, I'm covering my wife's eyes. Not letting her see that. You can't see that. Not you have to come back and look at this. I ain't letting that happen.
Oh, mate.
All right, Biz. Blessings, bro. Thank you so much for jumping in, man.
Thank you so much.
And, anytime, bro. We'll big up. Real quick, guys, if you don't follow Biz right there, you see how to follow him on Twitter, or go over, subscribe to his YouTube channel and all the things he's connected to. It's great content. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, it's up at Channel Trafford, Twitter, Instagram. Also, shout myself, DJ Biz. Sean, big up yourself. Thanks for letting me come on the show. And you're definitely gonna have to come over Channel Trafford.
Yeah, I'm there.
We talk Man United, man.
We keep it fresh with we do it with pounds around here, baby. We ain't
That's it. Pounds over dollars, mate.
All right, blessings, man. Yeah, take care.
All right, my bro. Take care. Yeah, see you soon.
Yeah. All right, guys. That was Biz, my guy, the one and only Jamaican super fan. Manchester United super fan. Go follow all of his content. I mean, this guy is a loyal dude. He was all in to the very last moment. He cracks me up. Good people, man. Good people. Thanks, Biz, for jumping in. Make sure you guys sub to his stuff. And listen, Biz was talking with his heart and his head, but real talk, I'm saying USA 2-0 at least. If we score early, it could get ugly. But again, you're playing at Jamaica on the, even Biz said, the suspect pitch. We're missing Weston McKinney. He's out. Gio Reyna, he's still not back. You have Christian Pulisic, who's on limited minutes. So anything could happen. It wouldn't shock me if we did somehow manage to get clipped 1-0, if we drew 1-1, or if we won 5-0. None of that would shock me with Team USA right now. All I know is it feels good to sit on top of the group. In L3, we gave L3. 3 times Mexico, 3 times Estados Unidos contra Mexico. We win, baby. We win. 2-0. 2-0. Ain't nothing better than a 2-0 against Mexico. Anyway, guys, we're sitting top of the group and CONCACAF. Let's hope that Greg Berhalter can keep, growing this amazing crop of young U.S. talent that's playing. Mostly all of them are based in Europe right now. Let's keep growing and sneak up on some people. Anyways, it's Sean from Worldwide Red Show. I know this is off the beaten path because we're not doing United. We're just doing a little bit of international football. Thank you guys for joining in. For Tragic, for Jack, anybody else that will watch us later that's jumped in, thank you guys so much. Until next time, it's the Yank you love to love, baby. Or you don't like it all. Either way, you're welcome on my channel. Anyway, guys, it's been Sean from Worldwide Red Show, and I'm out.